Everyone loves a monster Jaylen Brown dunk or a big-time Derek White block. But what are the plays only the biggest Celtics junkies are going to want to see? That's what I wanted to find. I was watching Jordan Dyer on YouTube the other day, and he had a video called Nerd NBA Highlights. And I figured, why not bring that to Celtics basketball? So here are some of my favorite plays of the Celtics season so far that aren't going to get enough love. And shout out to Jordan. Make sure to check out his channel. The link will be down below. Last year's Celtics offense was largely based on finding mismatches, and the Celtics this year still do that a little bit. Here the play starts with Neemias Queta going to set a screen for Peyton Pritchard, but as soon as the Sixers bring Jabari Walker up to the ball, Neemias Queta is able to dive out of the screen and bring Tyrese Maxey with him. This forces Maxey to call for Dominic Barlow to switch, which ends with Maxey guarding Jaylen Brown. As soon as Jaylen Brown sees this, he calls for the ball. He knows he's bigger than Maxey, so he gets the ball on the wing, posts him up, and brings him all the way into the paint. Once he gets to his spot on the floor, Dominic Barlow is forced to help up. Neemias Queta rotates from dunker spot to dunker spot, and Jaylen Brown finds him for a monster poster. This play had the Clippers in a pretzel. First, it looks like Jordan Walsh is going to set a screen for Derek White to cut baseline, but he flips it and Derek White ends up coming back to the ball. Neemias Queta then sets a screen for Derek White, but he slips it, and at that point, there are two Clippers defenders guarding Derek White at the top of the key. As soon as Zubac comes up to the level, Derek White swings the ball to Peyton Pritchard, and at that point, Neemias Queta is already rolling, and John Collins has to shift over to help Zubac. By then, Jordan Walsh is wide open for a three. It doesn't go in, but the Celtics were still able to use some great screening to create a wide open shot. Here's a classic case of Derek White hustle for you. The Celtics are trying to prevent the inbound here, but Cade Cunningham eventually finds Asar Thompson. Derek White doesn't let him get away. Instead, he sprints after him all the way down the floor, sees that Jaylen Brown and Tobias Harris are on his right hand, waits for Asar Thompson to cross over, and gets the steal at the exact moment he does. This is Peyton Pritchard using positioning to perfection. Try saying that 3 times fast. This is Peyton Pritchard using positioning to First, Luka Garza sets a screen on Anthony Black, and Peyton Pritchard gets all the way around it. But instead of driving right into Wendell Carter, Peyton Pritchard slows down and keeps Anthony Black behind him. He keeps shifting his body so Black can't get back in the play, and by the time he gets downhill, Wendell Carter is out of position. As soon as he steps forward, Peyton Pritchard jumps into his body and gets the and one. He had the magic in his back pocket the entire possession. Here's something the Celtics have been doing all season. They've wanted to play fast all year, and even when the other team makes the shot, they're still going to push the pace. Walter Clayton makes a three right in Derek White's face, but as soon as Chris Boucher gets the ball, he inbounds it. The camera cuts away, but by the time it gets back, the Celtics are already past half court at the 22-second mark. They catch the Jazz while they're still running back in transition, and Peyton Pritchard gets a wide open three. And they're doing this over and over this season. Here's another example of the same thing. The Celtics give up a transition bucket to Franz Wagner, but Derek White immediately notices that there are two Magic players still out of the play. Franz Wagner made the layup, and Jalen Suggs was still running in transition. So by the time Derek White gets the ball into Jaylen Brown, those two are behind the new play completely. At this point in the game, Franz Wagner was on the Jaylen Brown matchup, but since he was still getting back, you could see him here pointing for Desmond Bane to pick it up. But since Baines is a little bit smaller and he's running backwards on his heels, Jaylen Brown is able to drive right into him, step back, and get an easy mid-range shot. Even when the other team makes the shot, transition plays can still happen. Here's the most ridiculous defensive play you might see all season. Hugo Gonzalez has been a monster for the Celtics all year, and on this one, he tortures Desmond Bane. He gets switched onto Bane on the handoff from Patadze, immediately stops him in his track, and then fights over the Paolo Banchero screen. He gets caught off guard and bites on a pump fake, but somehow manages to recover and get back in the play. Bane had picked up his dribble, and by the time he passed it and got it back, Hugo was right there again in his face. And this time, he didn't jump. He stayed with Bane, rotated on the pivot, and eventually forced to travel. The amount of athleticism and defensive awareness it takes to recover from biting on a pump fake like that is ridiculous. Bane should have scored on Hugo 3 different times on this possession, and still the Celtics rookie forced a travel. And for as good as Ugo has been on defense, Jordan Walsh has been just as incredible. Even though the Celtics lost this game against the 76ers, these 3 Jordan Walsh plays were 3 of the biggest stops of the season. He didn't stop Maxey once, he didn't stop Maxey twice, he stopped Maxey, one of the league's leading scorers, 3 times in the final 2 minutes of this basketball game. Here's another case of great screening by Boston. First, Luka Garza sets one for Peyton Pritchard to go up to the top of the key and get the ball from Simons. Then he and Josh Minott go set double screens. Jordan Miller only realizes Garza is there, and by the time Peyton Pritchard turns around, he runs right into Minott. And since he got caught out of the play, James Harden has to come all the way up to help on Pritchard. Luka Garza rolls hard, bringing Brook Lopez with him, leaving nobody guarding Josh Minott. It gives him a clear driving lane, and since Harden is left playing catch-up, Brook Lopez has to step up to guard the drive, leaving Minott an easy dump-off pass to Garza, who makes the shot. This one's small, but it's all about the gravity Jaylen Brown has on the court. You look at the start of this play, all eyes are on him, but it's more than that. 3 different Jazz players are focusing all of their attention on him. Yusuf Nurkic is playing 2-9 defense to stay out of the paint, locked into what Jaylen Brown is doing. Meanwhile, Elijah Harkless is timing up when he can double team Jaylen. As soon as Harkless went to go help on Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard shifted over just a little bit from the top of the key to the wing. That gave him the perfect angle to drive past Harkless, who was still recovering from doubling Jaylen Brown. By the time Jaylen passes to Pritchard, Harkless turns around and Pritchard wasn't where he left him. This leaves a clear lane for a Pritchard finger roll at the rim. And it's all because of the gravity Jaylen Brown has on the court. Pritchard just knew how to play off. Here's some great screening leading to an open 3. First, Sam Hauser and Luka Garza both screen for Peyton Pritchard, with Garza handing the ball off so Pritchard can come up to the top of the key. But instead of sticking around to set that screen, he immediately slips it and goes to set another one for Hauser. Garza basically runs into DeAndre Hunter so Hauser can get an open 3. Hunter doesn't have enough time to react. Everything happened way too fast that the Cavs were caught off guard. This is Jaylen Brown's gravity at work once again. He got Tyrese Maxey on him on a switch, and since he has position here, Joel Embiid is on the opposite side of the floor from Xavier Tillman just to help Maxey. But Tillman knows he's not the best 3-point shooter. So instead of spotting up behind the line, he takes a step in, and he and White run a dribble handoff. Since Edgecombe was so locked into Peyton Pritchard, he didn't realize Derek White was going to cut behind him. So he's off balance, Tillman sets a screen, and Derek White gets an easy mid-range shot over Embiid. All because Embiid was helping Maxey on the Jaylen Brown mismatch. Let me know what other types of plays you guys want to see. I love making this video. If you want more Celtics film, check out Nick NBA or First to the Floor. They both do a great job breaking down plays here about the Celtics. Leave a like here, subscribe, and again, comment down below what you want to see next.